Tim, is this really you, or am I talking to an AI Tim Mai? I'm not sure.
So AI has been around for a while, but most of these companies, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, they've been using it behind the scene to study us, to study our behavior. It can create an image for you. It can create a video for you. It can clone your video. It can clone your voice and act like you, sound like you. So it's like a universe of information. It knows every single industry, every single details. Like a lot of the things that you do manually with your underwriting, you can have that automate for you, and it makes a whole lot less mistakes. That function is built into ChatGPT to be able to analyze that. It's a super computer, and it's getting even more and more advanced as time goes by.
But Tim, is this really you, or am I talking to an AI Tim Mai? I'm not sure.
I know, right? With technology these days, you just never know. So you're gonna have to watch this and guess whether it's real me or my AI me.
Dude, I was really impressed actually. So Tim, and I don't want to steal it from you, Tim, but you have a YouTube channel that you started that is just AI, 100% AI. And I just went on there this morning. I hadn't seen it. And it's kind of like a faceless channel, but then Tim's in there in like a little circle, a little like picture in picture. And I can't tell that that's not Tim. It's that crazy. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I started that channel at my last event. So the channel was started on May 1st of 2024 here, and we are now only 4 months into it. We have gotten over 300,000 views on that channel, and yeah, so like I do zero recording on that channel, other than recorded my voice to train the AI on my voice, and recorded my video to train the AI on my video. And then my virtual assistant takes it on from there and do everything else. And so it's pretty badass what technology is able to do these days.
It's funny. I was actually talking to Tim a little bit earlier this morning, and I'm like, Tim, maybe we can do. I was so impressed. I'm like, maybe we can just do this episode as our AIs talking to each other instead of us being real. And I think it can be done, but I think it's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. But it'd be kind of cool to see instead of Tim and I doing this interview, it was our AI avatar. And you're actually, it's interesting. I've been speaking at your event now for a couple of years. I think this is the third or fourth one that I'm going to. But this year you've added the AI twist. I'm going to call it an AI twist. You've added this element of an AI into your event. So
Right.
super excited to go to that. I think it's at the end, second or third weekend of what is it, September?
Yeah, September
17th?
19th to 21st.
Yeah.
19th to 21st.
Yeah, cool. And that's in Houston, and I'll be over there. So I definitely want to talk about that a little bit later. So we don't leave anybody behind though, Tim. Maybe start with telling us a little bit about what exactly AI is, because a lot of people take for granted, they think they know what it is, but as I talk to folks, I don't think they really understand what AI is and the power of AI. But let's start with what exactly is AI and why should we care?
Yeah. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it's a super computer, and it's getting even more and more advanced as time goes by. But it's the pace in which it's growing is really amazing. So imagine a supercomputer that have pretty much all the knowledge in the world. And it knows every single industry, every single details. So it's like a universe of information. It's kind of like what Google was, but even better, because it doesn't just give you sources, it can give you answers that can calculate things for you. So it's like a Google and a calculator and a spreadsheet and like all of these tools all in one, called AI. And because it is a one big giant tool, to make best use out of it, people use portion of it to make specific tools for us to be able to use depending on what you're trying to accomplish. So you can do everything from search the latest news, to search some historical events, to like you can upload your T12 and have it analyze your T12 for you. You can it can put different items in different categories. It can do your bookkeeping. It can create an image for you. It can create a video for you. It can clone your video. It can clone your voice and act like you, sound like you. You know, they even have AI now where it's like real time CGI kind of thing, right? So like you can wear your normal clothes, and while you're recording video of you doing things, it create a CGI version of you, like let's say doing some karate moves for your movie. Like it's, I mean, it's it's broad, but yet it can be very specific as well.
You know, one of the most basic ways I tend to use it quite a bit is just summarizing stuff for me. Like for example, I'll give you a quick example. You know, I do my drunk real estate podcast, and we had a show on like the economic policies of both candidates, and I was in charge of covering Kamala Harris's economic policy. And she just said, "Hey, I just support the Joe Biden economic whatever." And so I found the actual source document. It was like 300 pages long. It's like I don't have time to read. I was literally preparing for the show. Like I don't have time. And so I uploaded it into ChatGPT, which I know is one of the tools you're going to talk about. And once I uploaded it, now I can just start asking it all kinds of questions about what did they talk about? What do they say about real estate? They would just literally pull out, these are the 3 things they talked about real estate. So I use it a lot just to summarize stuff. Just take that massive data. It could be transcripts of a podcast, upload it, and then you can start interacting with it, which I think is super cool. Well, cool. So then let's focus on these tools, because I mean that's what people came to do. So I know you wanted to talk about 5 of them, but let's start with like the first one. Is it ChatGPT? Is the first one ChatGPT?
Yeah, it's the most popular one because it's the one that made that created a user interface. So AI has been around for a while, but most of these companies, you know, Google and Microsoft and Facebook, they've been using it behind the scene to study us, to study our behavior and all of that stuff, right? To get us to stick on their website and use the website more often, right? And ChatGPT was the OpenAI is the actual company. ChatGPT is a product of OpenAI, and OpenAI, you know, created ChatGPT as a way for normal people to have a user interface into the, using AI as a tool. And so ChatGPT is the most popular. It has a lot of usage, and the majority of AI tools that you see out there uses ChatGPT on the back end, you know, like the knowledge base, right? So AI, so ChatGPT is the most popular, and you can use it for a lot of things these days. It doesn't, it's not the best at everything, but you know, it is really good for like data analysis type stuff, normal research type stuff. It used to be the best, but you know, a lot of tools are now catching up. They're constantly beating one another. So yeah, so at a bare minimum, you want to learn to start using ChatGPT. What can you use ChatGPT for? Pretty much anything that you like, probably 90% of what you do on a daily basis when it comes to coming up with ideas, coming up with content. If you have a spreadsheet that you needed to analyze or clean up, yeah, it can do a lot of those things. And so using ChatGPT, like whenever you're doing something, you want to ask yourself like, hey, can I have ChatGPT help me with this? And if you're not sure, you can ask ChatGPT to see if it can or not, and they'll tell you if it can or not. And it used to be people like you, if you have done anything around AI, you might have heard of the term prompt engineering, which is a way that you ask ChatGPT for it to give you better information. So because ChatGPT knowledge base is very broad, in order for you to for it to give you specific information, you have to tell it. Like for example, let's say I live here in Houston, Texas. If I say, hey, find me the most popular restaurant in Houston, Texas, then it goes to its wall of information, zoom into Texas, zoom into Houston, zoom into the restaurant categories, and then and then give me that information based on its knowledge base, right? And so if you wanted to give you some answers around, let's say, some medical stuff, then you want it to act as a doctor, right? A doctor who specializes in skin, about, a certain skin condition. So the more specific you tell it, the better answer that it can give you, because it can zoom into its database for that specific information. And yeah, so you can use it, if you don't want to get any fancy and you just want to use ChatGPT, you can use it to create, any kind of content you want, whether it's articles, blog, video script, ebook, video courses, or like content for your video course. It can also create image for you. So if you wanted to create, like instead of having to go on Google and search for a stock image, you can tell it to create an image for you of let's say, a man walking on the beach, right? It's able to create that kind of image for you to use with your content. Recently, one of the things that I do a lot, I study Facebook ads from, other syndicators, and so I use another AI tool that went and scraped over 1,000 Facebook ads, and then I fed it into ChatGPT, and I tell it, all right, look at this data and tell me who is offering lead magnets in their ads, and what's the title of their lead magnets. I tell it, okay, what are the top hooks that syndicators use based on all these ads? So it can do all of those analysis for you.
It's like talking to a really, really smart person. It's like I literally, you can't get lonely anymore. Like sometimes I'll just start talking to it. I'm like, hey, my so-and-so hurts. What could it be? Should I take this medicine? Should I take that? But like you literally start chit-chatting with it. Do you ever use it? Because I don't know who here has a podcast or not, but I learned this from Think Media, from Sean Cannell, in terms of preparation for interviews. I didn't do it for this one just because this is kind of a unique episode. But generally what I do is I have actually Jen, who's on the call here. I have her grab the transcripts from the last 5 or 6 or 7 podcasts that my guests attended on before, and I put those in a ChatGPT, and then I can ask ChatGPT, hey, what are the topics that the guest spoke with? What are the top questions that they answered? What are the questions that they should have asked but they didn't ask? Give me a list of questions I should ask. I mean, it's really helpful if you've got a podcast like that. That helps quite a bit. I've never used it much with spreadsheets, but I would think as a syndicator, as a real estate syndicator, the spreadsheet part really would help quite a bit. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of when I think of spreadsheet, I think of underwriting. How does ChatGPT help us in underwriting, for example?
Yeah. So ChatGPT is able to do data analysis. So it's not just text, but it can actually study data. So, like you can set it up to be able to know how to read your let's say, you're looking at a deal from a syndicator or even your own deal, for example, and you give it parameters of what to look for. So you can upload the T12, you can upload the rent roll, it can spit back with you, your unit mix. It can automatically calculate all of the, IRR and all of that stuff for you. And you can give it scenarios. So it's like, like a lot of the things that you do manually with your underwriting, you can have that automate for you, and it makes a whole lot less mistakes because it's able to do all of these things automatically. And so it can analyze any kind of data, not just your underwriting data. But yeah, it's that function is built into ChatGPT to be able to analyze that. You would have to create, now the normal ChatGPT won't be able to do it. There's a version of ChatGPT called Custom GPT. This is where you can go in and you can design. It's almost like designing your own version of ChatGPT that specializes in just underwriting multifamily deal, or specialize in just underwriting self-storage deals. So like I have a custom GPT that's just on the tax strategies within real estate that my LPs can use to ask ChatGPT, my custom GPT, any tax questions that they want. My team has I created a custom GPT specifically for marketing copywriting. So if they want to, if they want to get ideas from what they need to write in the email, what they need to write in the Facebook ads, they can use that custom GPT specifically for that purpose. And the languaging, because I created custom, all the languaging is very specific to our business here, in the real estate syndication business.
And actually talk a little bit about there's a free version and there's a paid version. I've always used the paid version. I don't know now how far advanced the paid version is versus the free one.
Yeah. The free version is just as advanced as the paid version now. However, you can't do as many requests, and then it's not as fast because the paid version takes priority in resources. But you certainly can start out with just the free version, and you still get access to ChatGPT 4.0, which is the most current version right now. It used to be that they did it where the paid version gets access to the latest version, and then the free one didn't. But now it's all the same version, whether it's free or not free. It's the speed and the availabilities, like the limitation of how many queries you can do per day.
Yeah, and don't forget, by the way, guys, that it's already got a lot of stuff's already sort of it's not like the internet, so it's already pre-programmed. So I'm to give you an example. I'm looking at developing some land here in California. I have access to all of the regulations, the building codes, everything I need to know is already in there. So I could just start having conversations like, hey, what do I need to do in order to apply for permits? Or, hey, I need to put a septic tank on this property. Who do I need to talk to? And it has access to all that stuff county by county. So as you guys are doing your due diligence or your research, just assume it knows everything, has even access to the statutes and the actual regulations, and just start peppering it with questions. Shrey was asking, do you have to convert all of the files like the T12s and rent rolls into an Excel before it can underwrite, or can you just do it with the PDF file?
Yeah, depending on how the PDF file was created, whether or not it can read it or not. So if it can read it, it can even convert into a CSV or an Excel file for you. But when you upload when you upload in Excel, it automatically knows that, hey, this is a data file, and I need to use the data tool. But if you upload as a PDF, immediately it might think it's just a text file. And so if you do use PDF, ask it if it converts from that PDF into a spreadsheet file for you first. If it can, that means that it is able to read the data, and then it can analyze the data.
All right, Tim, let's go to number 2, the second tool.
Yeah. So I'm going to go a little bit faster now, because I mean, so within the content creation type tool, right? So we talk about ChatGPT. Claude.ai is really good. It's even better than ChatGPT for the purpose of creative writing. So if you're writing a video script, an article, a blog, an ebook, any kind of content type of writing, then Claude will be better than ChatGPT. Now, Claude can't do data analysis, and it can't do image creation, so it doesn't compete with ChatGPT in that way. But things like copywriting, creative writing, content writing, Claude.ai, it's CLAUDE.ai. That is very good. And so for us, all of when it comes to creating content, from our YouTube video scripts to our ebooks, Claude is what we use. We don't use ChatGPT for that purpose. And then another competitor of ChatGPT and Claude is called Perplexity. Now, what Perplexity, Perplexity.ai, let me get you the link real quick. What Perplexity does that's better is that it has real-time data versus, I forgot the date cutoff, but usually data from ChatGPT and Claude is about a year and older. It doesn't have the most current information. And Perplexity is able to search the news right now. So for our newsletters, then we use Perplexity so we can get the most current news that's happening in the last 24 hours, the last a week, much more current data. So we started a newsletter on Beehive, and I have a VA that used Perplexity to be able to generate the content that we need to talk about in the newsletter for LPs. So yeah, so those three tools are more for content creation, and then for like we talk about training videos of us, and just for fun, I'm probably gonna do it. Take the recording here. It won't be the best quality, but it proves a point. But it can, there's a tool called HeyGen. HeyGen, and HeyGen allows you to record, and it's especially useful for like doing instructional type of videos where you don't have a whole lot of movement. You have some movement, but you're not like dancing and jumping, right? So it's more like your headshot, like the angle that Mauricio and I, like most of us have right now. HeyGen would be perfect for that. So yeah, so you can record a video and upload to HeyGen, and the AI studies you, and yeah, it produces a video that looks exactly like you, but it makes your movements, it automatically adjusts your movement based on what you're saying. Yes, HeyGen, HeyGen, correct. I think it's .com. I don't remember. And then for your audio training, I use 11 Labs. There's a lot of audio tools out there, but 11 Labs I've found to be the best. And with any of these training tools, like with HeyGen and with 11 Labs, you want to have very high quality video, high quality audio, because these tools, they pick up on every little things. So if if you have background noise when you're doing your audio, it's gonna pick up as part of the training because it thinks like that's all part of it. So yeah, so my each of these tools, they recommend that you, like the audio, they recommend at least 3 hours of audio training to get the voice as close to you as possible. I uploaded only 30 minutes of my voice, and it's still pretty good. Most people probably won't be able to tell if I didn't tell them that wasn't my voice. Same thing with the video. I think it says to upload like at least 30 minutes or something, and I only uploaded 4 minutes, and the video comes out pretty good as well.
Tim, have you looked into running the audio? Like, let's just say right now I'm doing it. This is a pretty good mic, but to your point, it might pick up, the air conditioning, all that little stuff that you don't. Have you experimented with running the audio through an AI to kind of clean out the audio and just strip away first and then feeding that in?
I did, but no, that's just like filtering after filtering. It's it won't get the best audio for you. But with the mic that you have, as long as you don't hear any other background, you should be fine. Yeah.
I'm trying to circumvent the process, because a lot of us have, hundreds of hours of YouTube videos or podcasts that you've been on that would be nice for us to be able to just upload all this data somewhere and then have it done, versus having to go into a studio and put in 3 hours of time, which is not the end of the world, but that's,
Yeah, I was hoping that too, but the challenge is that every one of your YouTube videos might have a slightly different sound. Like, for example, how I sound on stage at my events is very different from how I sound like, sitting right next to a microphone like this. And so it has to do with which sound do you want the AI to use. If you want a sound that's a bit further away from the mic, then you train the AI for that sound. If you want a sound that's close to you, closer to the mic, then you want to train for that sound. Because it picks up all, like, every little nuance. And so that positioning of how you want that sound, it's better to be in a more controlled environment where you're controlling, this is exactly how I want my AI voice to sound like.
Got it. Let me run a scenario by you, Tim, real quick, and then tell me if the technology exists, and if it
Yes.
doesn't exist, how far away we are from this technology. And this really goes to anybody who's out there creating some kind of content. Hopefully all of you guys are creating some content for your marketing, for your LPs or whatever. But what I would love to see, and this is going to make most of the editors out there obsolete, but are we at a place yet, Tim, where I can record an hour worth of video? Take this video, for example, that's an hour long, or a podcast, run it through some AI technology that would then take the transcript, run it against the internet, and tell me what keywords or what clips in that 1 hour video are trending or are popular or people are searching, right? And so that the AI can identify the best clips from that 1 hour video. Because I've seen software out there that'll take an hour video and come up with a bunch of clips, but the clips are just random clips basically. And they're like, they may be good or may not be good. But I envision a world one day where the AI is even better than we are in finding the clips, because it's actually running the technology through the internet and finding out what are people actually interested in, what are people searching for, what are people interested in, and finding the clips based on that. Is there anything close to that? And how far are we aware from that? How far away are we from that if it's not there today?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not there today. The technology is there, but no one has thought of the idea to turn it into that specific product. Because if you take your transcript and you upload that to Perplexity, and you tell Perplexity to, hey, search Google Trends for keywords that I mentioned in this, in this transcript. So the technology to do it is there, but it's going to require someone to implement it.
But that would work then. I could literally take the audio, put it in there, and I can tell it, hey, what part of this transcript is trending more on the internet.
Right. Yeah, it can, yeah, it'll be a little bit work to do that, but it does have, yeah, I mean, parts of it is definitely there.
Shrey was asking whether you needed to be able to write code when you're using these, especially ChatGPT. Do you need to be able to write code at all, or is this all just plain English?
No, not. Yeah, it's plain English. I think that, I mean, it's already starting, but probably a year from now, we can create any software we want just by dictating in English. So yeah, if you are doing something that require code, you can just ask ChatGPT. You say, hey, I want to do this. Write me the code that can do that. ChatGPT is able to do, is able to do that for you.
Mark was asking whether ChatGPT can make videos.
No, ChatGPT itself cannot make videos, but there are other software that can make videos. Depends on what type of videos you want. So there's a software that there's several, but there's software that you can just put in the text of what you want to create the video, like the scripts for the video, and the software will automatically find pictures and video clips put together to turn that, it's called text to video. It turns that text into an entire video. And there's even software that does it, using, you ever seen those doodle drawing? So it can also do it in a lot of different formats. So it can take your text, turn it into a doodle drawing. It can take your text, turn into an animation. It can take your text, turn it into like a normal, short movie kind of video. So yeah, the technology is already there for those things.
What are you using on your channel? Because you're obviously feeding it a transcript, and then it's coming up with B-roll. I mean, you're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, you talk about Shaq in one of your videos, or Rihanna, and there's just B-roll of those folks. Is that all using a particular technology?
Yes and no. So so YouTube is very has has the ability to detect if the video is mostly AI content, and so we so I do have a VA that does the actual video editing in such a way that there's enough human component to it that YouTube doesn't flag it as, well, not flag, but it has a disclosure that it was AI generated video. So we'll use, so let's say for example, and the reason why you mentioned those celebrity names is because I wanted the channel to be about celebrity and their real estate. I wanted to tie to real estate, so that way the audience I'm looking for, and I wanted to name drop the celebrities so that it's more popular, more people, and that's how we're able to achieve getting over 300,000 views in just 4 months is leveraging the celebrity's name and then tying it to real estate. So when we use Perplexity and we search for a certain celebrity and certain real estate that they own, because Perplexity has the ability to search the internet, it can give us like actual videos or actual pictures that we can then use into our video editing.
Got it. So your VA takes what it found on Perplexity, takes that, and then they edited it into the video. Got it.
Correct. Yeah.
I would think that we're close again at some point in the near future. AI will be able to do that for you, right?
It can, it can, but like remember, YouTube is able to pick up when it does do that. So unless you don't care that YouTube picks it up and say that like this video was was created. I forgot the actual.
Oh, like a little disclaimer on. Got it. A little disclaimer.
Yeah. So if you don't mind that, then yeah, no big deal. But if you don't want that, I'm trying to see if I can find that. Yeah, I can't find it real quickly. But yeah, there's a little disclaimer that says yeah, it's basically
that's fine.
generated.
And I'm conscious of time. I know we're running low on time because I know you've got to head over to your community. I'm going to head there right after you. There's a question actually that I'm interested in too. When you're doing the training on the videos, Tim, do they allow you to pick like new virtual clothing, or are you always going to be wearing whatever you're wearing when you did the training?
Yeah, you're gonna be wearing whatever you're wearing when you're doing the training. So what you can do is you can train many different videos and not just one. In my case, I only did one, but if I want to do, let's say 10 different change of clothes, so then I can select which video to use. Yeah.
That's going to be 30. That's going to be 3 hours times 10. That's 30 hours now, right?
Right. Yeah. Or I mean, like depending on the quality you're looking for. The one that I did, like I mentioned, is only around 4 minutes. So it can be a lot shorter. I think the minimum is 2 minutes. So yeah, if you're not looking for like a super high quality, like our interaction here, then then it doesn't have to be that long. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Tim before this, I saw those of you that follow Patrick Bet David, he did a video, and he's not only is he talking in front of his studio, he's talking in Mandarin, he's talking in Spanish. He's because at that point you can talk in whatever language you want because you're just feeding it the transcript or the AI is generating the transcript. Anything else you want to tell us, buddy, before you you hop over to yours?
Yeah. So, just the guys, so we also use another AI. What it does is once someone opts into our site, there's an AI that can have a text conversation with them to invite them to book a call with you. That AI is called closebots.ai. Let me put it in the chat here for you guys. And then yeah, so for to create images like AI images of you, one that I like is called Leonardo.ai. Let me and Midjourney is another one that also does images. Here's like if you have videos that you want the tool to automatically chop up your video, Opus.pro is one that would do that. So like it'll take a 1 hour video like this and chop up into 10, 20 smaller reels and shorts. It can do that for you. And yeah, and if you guys want to learn video editing, CapCut makes it very easy. My son, who's now a senior in high school, during the summer, I had him do some video for me, and it took him like less than 4 hours to learn to do video editing because of this CapCut tool. Yeah, so technology out there is like crazy good. Let me Yeah, like I mentioned, we've used AI to create everything from ebooks to video courses, to a whole like masterclass series. So like right now, if you were to be on my Heal Wealth Fund mailing list, for example, the weekly, every Wednesday masterclass that we're doing, the content was created by AI. So just so you know, yeah, I mean, well, it in conjunction with with one of my partners who's a CPA. So it's not just normal AI. It's very high quality. But yeah, we use it for everything. So definitely go, if you haven't used it yet, go practice it. Like everything that you do in your day-to-day basis, your assistant, always ask yourself, how can I use AI for this? Either help with it or automate it, or do it completely. Always ask yourself that question. It'll start to train you a lot more. And if you don't know how to use AI tools, ask the AI tool itself how to use it.
That's pretty funny. You can just ask it how to do it. Tim, I know we got to head over to yours. I put the link in the chat, but talk a little bit about your event coming up, Capital Raising Summit in Houston, September 19th to the 21st. If somebody's interested, why should they go?
Yeah. So it's our third Capital Raising Summit. It's an event specifically for you to learn how to raise capital. One of our keynote speaker is Paul Hutchison. His fund is he's a founder of Bridge Investment Group. It is now a $50 billion fund. So he knows a ton when it comes to capital raising. Brad Sumrock's another one of our keynote speaker. Pace Morby's another one of our keynote speaker. Obviously, Mauricio Rauld is one of our speakers as well. So we have amazing lineup of great speakers that's going to be there. And our event is very networking centric. And so, the way that we structure our event, you get to, regardless if you're an introvert or an extrovert, you get to meet with a lot of people and talk to, almost everyone, the way that we design it.
If you'd like to join us live on these episodes and have a chance to get your specific question answered, you can simply go to realestatesyndicatorlive.com and register to be live on the show. Hope to see you then.